Have a question you've always wanted to ask an artist? Well, I answer 30 of them. Stay tuned. Hi everybody, Daphne here, and welcome back to my channel. I am the artist of the self-published furry fantasy comics Tall Tales and Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which will be premiering on Kickstarter January 4th, 2021. Before we get started, check out my artwork at the galleries and social media sites next to me on the side here. And don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. And as always, there's free comics featuring the first 3 issues of Tall Tales waiting for you at the link in the description box below, so don't forget to sign up for them. So, after watching my subscriber count jump up and down by the same 5 people for God knows how long, something happened and I was finally able to get over that 800 subscriber hump. I want to thank all of you for subscribing to my channel and enjoying the content that I put out for you as often as I can. So, in honor of our new subscribers and to give everyone else a refresher, I thought it would be fun to answer 30 questions about me that focus mostly on my art. After all, this is an art channel and I might as well stick to the theme. Question 1. Do you prefer traditional drawing or digital? Although I can do both, I much prefer traditional drawing. There's something about getting my hands dirty that kind of makes the process complete for me. But I also do digital art when I need to color mostly, because most of my coloring is in the computer. Question 2. How long have you been drawing? To give you the cliche answer, I've been drawing for as long as I can remember. However, I didn't start receiving any formal training until I entered high school. And, if you're curious, I went to the High School of Art and Design in Manhattan. Question 3. How many classes have you taken? All the classes that I ever remember taking were all pretty much regulated in high school and college, which was the High School of Art and Design and the School of Visual Arts. And to tell you the truth, I really don't remember a lot of the classes that I took there, just that I took art classes because they were both art schools. But if you're talking about informal training, anything that comes out on YouTube or through books or whatever, I use all that to supplement my schooling knowledge. Question number 4. Do you have a DeviantArt, personal website, or art blog? Yes, I do have a DeviantArt, but I don't really post a lot to that gallery. However, I have tons of other sites that I post my artwork to regularly down in the description box below. Question 5. What's your favorite thing to draw? Horses and anything that looks like a horse. Question 6. What's your least favorite thing to draw? Human people. I'm still getting the hang of drawing human people. You would think that people being animals wouldn't be such a huge leap from drawing funny animals and furries, but it is, and I still struggle with that to this day. Question 7. How often do you use references? I am always using references. Sure, I can probably draw a lot of pieces without it, but using references gives my pieces that certain level of visual credibility that is very important, short of being completely realistic. Even if I'm doing completely fantastical imagery, references really adds that something extra that makes the image look more believable. So don't believe anybody that tells you that using reference is cheating, because absolutely it is not. In fact, it's a necessary part of the artistic process. Question 8. Do you draw professionally or just for fun? I draw professionally and for fun. No reason why you have to sacrifice one for the other. Although in these days and times, it is kind of awkward to try doing something for fun without worrying about how you're going to monetize it. Question 9. How much time do you spend drawing on an average day? To give another cliche answer, not enough. But whenever I do sit down to draw, I really do try to spend at least an hour to about 3 hours a day trying to draw or actually drawing. Like, that's the amount of time I want to spend just concentrating, just drawing, not doing anything else. Website admin, like setting up Kickstarters, like posting to social media. As much as all those other things are work, the actual physical drawing, I really try to spend between 1 and 3 hours a day. More if I'm able to. Question 10. Are you confident about your art? I'm about as confident as someone with my skill level can be. I'm okay. I think this is kind of a difficult question because it's like I like what I'm doing, but I know it could always be 1,000 times better. And I think that the worst thing an artist can do for themselves is to be absolutely confident in their work, because that usually means they're stagnating, and you don't want to stagnate. You want to always be looking forward to improving your craft no matter at what level you are. Question 11. How many art-related blogs do you follow? I follow pretty much a lot of art-related blogs. In fact, those are the ones that I really prefer to follow. I don't follow a lot of personal blogs, but if you're an artist and you post artwork on a regular basis, I'm going to follow you. And especially if you post to Instagram. Because out of all the platforms, I much prefer to follow artists on Instagram than, say, on Twitter or Facebook. Instagram is just a cleaner interface for showcasing artwork. So yeah, my Instagram account, I'm following a lot of art accounts. Question 12. Is it okay for people to ask you about your process? Not only is it okay, I encourage it, and I created an entire YouTube channel full of 200 plus videos showing off my process. Question 13. Do you prefer to keep your art personal, or do you like drawing for other people? At this stage of my career, it's very rare that I actually do artwork that's just personal. Like I said in a previous question, it's like nowadays, it's like you can't spend time doing personal artwork without eventually wondering how you're going to monetize it in the future. And to tell you the truth, that kind of stinks, because a lot of artwork you should be able to do just on your own without having to worry about whether it's making money or not. And honestly, I think that's kind of sad. You know, I can't remember the last time I did artwork purely for fun. In the end, it was like everything that I did, it started out for fun, but in the end ended up with this artwork has to pay for itself somehow. It has to justify its existence. And yeah, that's kind of icky, you know, on a certain level, but you know, I guess that's just the sign of the times. Now, if you're asking if I have fun drawing for other people, the answer is yes. I do like the way I do like drawing for other people because I like the way my artwork makes them feel, and I get a nice dopamine hit from that. 14. Do you collaborate with others? The only person that I've ever collaborated with in terms of artwork is JD Calderon, who is also the writer on Tall Tales. Makes sense. So he is my collaborator on that entire series. The closest I came with collaborating with someone else is for a short story for an anthology that, funnily enough, I can't mention yet because they didn't announce it. So I don't want to mention it here. But even then, in terms of collaboration, all that was that it was their character that they wanted us to do an 8-page story of. JD wrote the story for it, and I am currently working on the artwork for that 8 pages. So that's the closest to a collaboration. But like with anything else outside of that, pretty much it's mostly between me and JD. Question 15. How long does an average piece take you to complete? An average piece for me can take between probably 1 and 2 days, depending on how detailed the piece is. Like if I'm doing like a cover or something, it could actually take almost a week to do, from finding all the research material, working out all the compositions, putting together sketches to see how I want to work it out. And depending on how complicated the cover is, yeah, it could take about a week, but the simpler covers usually can take around like 1 to 3 days. 16. Do you draw more today than you did in the past, or do you draw less? I think that I draw less compared to when I was back in school, because of course, like when you add in all those assignments, you're constantly drawing to get homework done and projects done and constantly doing projects. But what's funny is that I feel that I have better quality drawing time now than I did back then. So it's kind of less. So right now it's kind of less because I'm not being pushed to finish projects for school or a grade, although technically I have to finish projects for Kickstarters and whatnot. But in terms of the quality of the work, the quality of the time, I think it's better now. Rather than back then when I was drawing more. But then again, I consider all that drawing back in school the practice, getting out all those junk lines, to get out all the bad drawings, so that now I have more of a chance of creating good drawings in a shorter time span than when I was back in school, if that makes any sense. 17. Do you think you're justified in giving people art advice? As much as I would like to think that I have the skill set to critique people and to give them advice about their artwork, in the end, I learned pretty early on, unless someone is specifically asking for that information, my opinion of their stuff is none of their business. And you know what? And I'm sure if they're not asking for it, they don't want to hear it regardless. I mean, it sounds weird. It's like you would think that, oh, every artist wants critique. Yes and no. When they want critique, they will ask for it. There is absolutely no reason for me to go up to an artist and start critiquing them out of the blue, because it's like, that's a lot of hubris. That would be a lot of hubris on my part. And you know what? And sometimes an artist, they know already, and they don't need somebody yapping to them about what they know already. So unless they're asking specifically for my advice, I don't give any. In the end, I think it's just safer that way and more polite. 18. What are you currently trying to improve on? The short answer, everything. The more specific answer, everything. No, it's like, so the main thing that I'm trying to work on is pretty much improving my overall craft. However, there are parts of it that I really want to improve on. And right now, the thing that I'm really trying to improve on is character environments, backgrounds. I want my backgrounds to look like an actual scene, as opposed to like a flat painting that I'm just putting my characters in front of. I want my backgrounds to look like it's an actual environment, and that takes a lot of practice. And unfortunately, it also requires my improvement on perspective as well for it to look correct. But I think I'm kind of getting there, so I'm just making it, giving myself a lot of excuses in the upcoming issues to apply everything that I'm learning about that and really trying to get a sense of environment in the books, as opposed to like, you know, headshots everywhere to avoid drawing backgrounds, which I've seen plenty of artists do. So don't do that. Practice your backgrounds. I'm not kidding. It'll improve your artwork incredibly. In fact, one of the biggest things that I read that I keep trying to apply when I'm drawing backgrounds is always treat your backgrounds the same way you treat your characters, which means that you're drawing your backgrounds with the same love and care you are drawing your characters, so that it all comes together in one piece. So that's what I'm doing. 19. What is the most difficult thing for you to draw? Well, you would think the previous question would have answered that. However, the most difficult thing for me to draw is hands and feet. You know, the usual that that artists have been having problems with since the Renaissance. Hands and feet. There's just something about hands and feet that when they're not drawn correctly, ooh, they look it. And for me, it's just trying to get everything to look correct. My goal is to be able to draw really dainty Disney hands on my female characters, and really strong looking hands on my male characters, and I don't think I've quite gotten there yet, so I'm still working on that. Question 20. What is the easiest thing for you to draw? Horses and anything that looks like a horse, because that's what I've been drawing since I was in grade school. So that is the one thing that I've literally had the most practice in. Question 21. Do you like to challenge yourself? I think it's important for every artist to want to challenge themselves. In the end, it's the only way you're going to improve. You don't improve by just drawing horses all day. You improve by drawing everything all day. It's kind of scary to push yourself out of your wheelhouse, but you have to, or else you're not going anywhere. You have to challenge yourself if you want to see an improvement. You can enjoy drawing Sonic the Hedgehog all you want all day, but if you want to draw the best Sonic the Hedgehog, you have to practice everything you don't want to practice in that picture. You have to practice anatomy. You have to practice clothing. You have to practice backgrounds. You have to practice the perspective to put your Sonic OC into that scene. There's no way around it. You have to challenge yourself, or else you're just gonna suck. Put it bluntly. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. And if you're an artist worth your salt, you don't want to suck. So don't suck. Practice what you hate until you learn to like it. Question 22. Are you confident that you're improving steadily? Yeah, at least I can answer that honestly by saying yes. I feel like I'm improving steadily. I actually kind of enjoy catching myself in that moment of drawing something that I used to have a problem with, and then feeling like it's coming a little easier. So yeah, I absolutely do feel that I'm improving steadily. How far that's going to go, I have no idea. I still have a long way to go, but at least I'm moving in the right direction, and that's the important part. Question 23. Do you draw more fan art or more original art? I actually draw more original art than fan art. I mean, all the comic book work that I do kind of like limits my time as to what other types of artwork that I do. And in the end, it also goes back to being able to draw for fun. And it doesn't quite work out that way. I mean, it's like in the end, it's like if I'm drawing fan art, it's with the mindset that, oh, I'm going to eventually monetize this. So it's kind of weird like that. Like if I decide to draw fan art, it's because, oh, I'm going to do something with that later, as opposed to I'm drawing fan art for fun. So in the end, if I'm not going to do anything with that artwork, I'd rather just be drawing the stuff that I feel is more important, which is all my more original artwork, you know, the Tall Tales stuff, the Eagle Raven stuff. I have a couple of personal projects that I'm kind of like doodling on that eventually I want to also, you know, maybe put on Kickstarter. But you see, everything is about what can I do with this artwork at the end of the effort. Fan art is not really that interesting to me, so I don't really go out of my way to do it unless it's for conventions or sketchbooks to sell on Kickstarter or whatnot. So in the end, it's not really something I'm that interested in order to do fan art for myself. I'd rather do whatever original stuff that I'm working on now because it's mine. It's my original stuff, so that's where my interest is. Question 24. Do you feel jealous when you see other people's art or inspired? Be honest. To be honest, yes, I get jealous all the time of other people's artwork, of other people's success, of other people succeeding, of other people pretty much it being in a better place than I feel like I'm in. And honestly, that's normal. If you feel that way, that's normal. The only danger is to keep that energy from really, really consuming you, so that it becomes like angry energy, that you're resenting these people, that you hate these people. And instead, what I try to do is, it's like, I try not to let that jealous energy fester, and I just try instead to take that energy and put it into improving my own work and trying to learn from what they did that made them successful, or what I think made them successful, and then try to emulate that if I can. Because in the end, it's like jealousy in and of itself is kind of useless. I heard it described of, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. And that's, yeah, it's natural. It happens. You know, there is no artist out there who doesn't get jealous, but a sign of maturity is being able to work past that and use that energy to improve yourself. You know, because in the end, what the other artist is doing is none of your concern, and you really need to literally mind your own business and worry about what you're doing. Yeah, I have hated artists that I've also at the same time used as inspiration. But again, it's trying to switch that energy, because me hating, they don't know. They don't know. There's no reason for them to know. And it's like, and who am I, you know, to even feel like I'm important enough for them to pay attention to that I don't like them. That's that online mentality that's absolutely ridiculous and childish. So yeah, take that energy, acknowledge that that's there, acknowledge the energy is there, but really try to switch it over into energy that benefits you, as opposed to taking away from you. That other artist did nothing to you. That other artist is not taking anything from you. They're not giving anything to you either, but they're not taking away from you either. You're not losing and you're not gaining. They're just there minding their own business, doing their thing, and you have to figure out how you're going to do your thing, regardless of what they're doing. So yeah, it's a hard lesson, and you know, you have to swallow a lot to get through it, but it's the sooner you learn to pretty much get over yourself and worry about you and what you're doing, the better it is. Question 25. Do you like to draw in silence or with music? I can go either way. To tell you the truth, a lot lately, I've been working more in silence, but I really should go back to having music in the background, because I find that like thinking back, I find that I concentrate more on my work when there's music as opposed to if it's silent. Like, I appreciate the silence, but also the funny thing is that silence also can allow distractions to creep through. So thinking about this question is like, yeah, like lately I've been doing a lot of silent working, but yeah, I really should go back to listening to music, because I notice that I concentrate better on my work when I'm listening to music. So yeah, let's do that. Question 26, specifically for digital artists, but I can answer this too. What programs do you use? So for scanning in artwork and prepping them for digital use, I like to use Photoshop. For coloring in my images, I also use Photoshop. For prepping files into printable files we send to the printer, I use InDesign. And for lettering my comics, I use Adobe Illustrator. And then like a mishmash of other programs like Microsoft Word, OBS, Streamlabs to do the videos. But my major programs are Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator. Question 27, also for digital artists, and I can also answer this too. How many layers does a typical piece require? So when I color in a cover, I try to consolidate the layers as much as I can so I don't end up confusing myself. I mean, how people can have hundreds of layers in a piece is beyond me. I could say maybe at most, maybe 10 layers. I mean, it's like like I said, I try to keep it as simple as possible, because I don't want to confuse myself, and I don't want, if I need to find something, I don't want to go through digging through each layer to find it. So at most, it's about 10 layers. Question 28, for traditional artists. I can answer that too. What medium do you like the most? Pencil, charcoals, etc. Especially lately, I am really enjoying the simplicity of coal erase red and blue pencils on sketch paper. I really enjoy the way those pencils make my drawings look like an animator did it, which is funny because I'm the one drawing it. I just really like the way those two pencils work together to create a sketch. That and a fountain pen, the Moonman M2, that I use for inking. So the pencils for sketching and the fountain pen for inking, those are my favorite tools right now. Question 29, also for traditional artists that I can answer too. How do you start on a big piece? Light sketch, colored lead, sketch paper, etc. So the first thing I do when I'm creating a piece, let's say hypothetically a cover for a comic. So the first thing I do is that I work out a couple of small thumbnails to try to get, the really basic idea of what I'm looking to do on a cover. And when I find a thumbnail that I like, I do a larger version of it, usually around actual size, and I then rework that thumbnail into a rougher sketch that I sometimes manipulate in Photoshop to get the composition exactly the way I want, especially when it comes to like character size relations with each other. Sometimes you'd be surprised what the tiniest like enlargement can do to a piece. That a character just happens to be a little too small, but it's not by much, and it seems to make all the difference. So sometimes I'll do that. And then once I have the sketch done, I print out a blue line version of it, And then I either, depending on how the sketch is, I either refine the pencils or I ink. And once I have the inks done, then that's when I scan them in, I color it in Photoshop, and then that final digital piece is what I use for everything. Yeah, after it's done. But it's a decent paper trail, I would think, to do a piece, to do an average cover. Question 30. What inspires you to not just make art, but to be a better artist? The most important question. I guess if I wanted to be facetious with the answer, I could just literally say, what else am I doing? I mean, drawing is just something that I've always been doing, and I can't imagine not doing it. So it's like, yeah, so what else am I doing? I'm going to become a plumber, you know? I mean, yeah, so it's like, so if I'm doing my art anyway, might as well try to do it the best I can in the time that I have. What's funny is that in spite of what people say, life is short, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. No, it's not. Life is not short. It feels short, but it's not. So there's no reason for me to stagnate or to just purposefully not do anything with it, you know, with drawing, with improving. There's no reason, because it's like I'm doing it anyway. So might as well just push forward with it. And like I said in a previous question, I really do enjoy seeing myself improve. I really do enjoy that feeling of knowing that I'm getting better, that I'm getting better at this, that this is getting easier, that I'm creating pieces that sometimes I look on and go, holy crap, did I do that? I really did that? That's my artwork? And, you know, that's a really, I really like those feelings. So that's what pushes me forward. I mean, yeah, it's like you have to go through badlands of really struggling with things, you know, like really struggling with perspective, really struggling with backgrounds, really struggling with drawing human faces, with drawing humans in general. I mean, all the things that I have problems with, it's like, yeah, I have to push myself through to get to the other side of when I can go, oh, I can do this now. Yeah, that's really what pushes me is the feeling of knowing that I'm a better artist, that I'm going to be a better artist next week because of what I'm pushing myself to do now. And that's actually kind of trippy. That's like, you know, it's kind of weird to say, but that's the only way that I can explain it. That it's like I improve because I like the way it feels to improve. And that's pretty much it. You know, yeah, it's like it's kind of weird saying it out loud, but that's what it is. That's what it is. Thank you so much for making it this far and watching to the end of my video. I hope you found it informative, or at least a little entertaining. Have any questions that you want me to answer but wasn't in the video? Ask me in the comments below. I'll either answer them there, or if there's enough of them, I'll make another video answering them all. If you want to learn more about art, illustration, and especially making comic books, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And sign up for your free Tall Tales comics before you go. Until then, I'll see you on the next video. Bye!